Hello guys, Trinson here. Today I'll be reading some r/entitled parents. Because, these experiences from others might prepare us if we ever encounter one. Enjoy. Entitled Mom, the salmon tastes like fish lady update. Rather surprising ending. So about 2 weeks ago, I told you guys 2 stories about entitled kid who made a mess in our living room, and entitled mom who complained salmon tastes like fish without taking a single bite. In my second story, I told you guys how I ran into her in the grocery store, and after yelling at me for humiliating her, she tried to be all polite and invite herself and entitled kid to steak night. My first story has been since removed. Try re-upload, got removed again, but you can still read my second story here. Now, after all this time, entitled mom actually did call my parents asking them to talk with her over a coffee. They were reluctant at first, but she sounded so sincere, so they decided to meet her. After meeting entitled mom, what my parents told me was completely unexpected. Entitled mom was actually sorry. Wow, that is unexpected. Yep, you read that right. Entitled mom actually said she was sorry for both of them being rude and entitled on every Sunday at church leading up to the dinner party. She said after I verbally shut her down, she admitted I was right. She couldn't control her anger and threw the dish at me. Which, by the way, I dodged, but it was plaster all over the wall. And after meeting me at the grocery store, entitled mom told my parents what I told her really stuck with her. Entitled mom was somehow able to afford a therapist, financial/life coach, and has been trying to find a job ever since. Turns out, she actually had a BS in medicine, but she never found a job with it because she was corrupted by her ex-husband's money. Entitled mom got her shit together, and after multiple interviews, she was hired at a local pharmacy and will be starting this week. I can't rely on money for my family forever and welfare, said entitled mom to my parents. Entitled mom also told my parents that she has let herself go astray from God, and although she won't be returning to her church, she will be attending elsewhere. Her life coach gave her advice on how to properly raise her child. Entitled kid was surprisingly okay with the changes, and she has been trying to raise him right. Lastly, entitled mom did admit salmon was a fish, and after recreating the dish from that day, she has really enjoyed it. My parents wished her the best, and 3 of them prayed together for her success. I really couldn't believe what my parents told me, after seeing how sure she was 2 weeks ago, but I am glad that entitled mom is trying to act like a human being. I know this probably gave you guys the typical justice boner, but I feel it is still a nice ending to entitled mom's story. We're in a 100% vegan restaurant, so my son should be able to eat a McDonald's burger here. A little bit of backstory. My sister owns a 100% vegan restaurant in Sitges, Spain, near Barcelona, and the restaurant's name is Spice Garden, for those who are wondering. She told me the story of entitled mom and entitled kid coming in there to eat. When they come in, they look like normal people. A waiter hands them the menus and they start looking at them. Sometime later, the waiter comes back and asks them if they're ready to order. Here's how the conversation went. Waiter, are you ready to order, ma'am? Entitled mom, we can't find anything tasty on this menu. Waiter, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there a way I can help? Entitled mom, well, I was thinking I could get some burgers from McDonald's and come here to eat them, since we're here. Waiter, I'm sorry ma'am, you're not allowed to take outside food with you into restaurants, and this is a vegan restaurant, so it wouldn't be good either way. You can leave if you like. Entitled mom, excuse me, I am your client, so I can eat whatever I want here. How dare you tell me not to do that? Waiter, ma'am, please don't argue. As I said, this is a vegan restaurant, and you're not allowed to bring outside food. If you don't leave in the next minute, I will force to call the police. The entitled mom and entitled kid leave the restaurant. I am still weirded out to this day as how would that entitled mom have the odyssey to eat meat in a vegan restaurant? Entitled parent tries to break my friendship with her daughter. You can check my profile for previous encounters with this entitled parent. As some of you may know, I was friends with entitled parent's daughter, and she still tries to break up our friendship. But over all the things she's done, we are still friends, and we always will be. But I thought I should share this story with you guys and gals. Me and embarrassed daughter has been friends for a while, and we were playing Super Smash Bros. When entitled parent comes right in during our game. Entitled parent, what are you two playing? Me and embarrassed daughter, Super Smash Bros. Entitled parent, well, me, you better let embarrassed daughter win. Me, why? She said don't hold back. Entitled parent, I don't care, let her win. Embarrassed daughter, mom, please stop. You do this all the time. Entitled parent, shush, I'm trying to help you win against this mommy's boy. Me and embarrassed daughter were pissed. Embarrassed daughter starts shouting out horrible things to her own mother about how she does this all the time of her friends, and entitled parent and me were shocked. Entitled parent just left us alone for the rest of the day, which made me pretty happy. I said bye to embarrassed daughter when I left, and I was still shocked about this incident. I hope you guys all enjoy. How dare you do your job and sweat? Mobile, first time posting here, blah blah blah. This was earlier last year, and, disclaimer, not my story but my dad's, so details aren't perfect but bear with me. I'm going to do this in first person for the sake of the story. You know the drill, but I'm adding in JPay for jerk employee and UK for useless kid. This was at a popular gutter company, which I am not going to name for obvious reasons. Let's get on with it. For some context, I sweat a lot and I try to control it, but it's kind of hard to do so. Okay, so I'm parking my truck in front of the house and I have to block a bit of the driveway to do my job. Mind you, there was nowhere else to park, but not enough to where the entitled parent and her useless kid could get out while I wasn't making the gutters. I'm starting to sweat at this point and entitled parent comes out. The approximate convo ensues below. Me? Hello ma'am, I am here to do your gutters today. Entitled parent. Hi, do you piss your pants? Referring to sweat. Me? What? No ma'am, it's sweat. Entitled parent. Well, it's gross, you shouldn't have a job then, you pig. Me blinks sweat out of eyes. Entitled parent. Oh my god, you're blocking us in, we can't get out. Seeing where I'm parked at. Me? I'm sorry ma'am, but I can't park. Entitled parent. Me and my kid are stuck here, you pig. Move your truck right now. Me? Ma'am, I will be done very soon and there's nowhere else to park, so... Entitled parent. No, how dare you block us in? I will get you fired. Me? What? But, what? Entitled parent. Gah, you pig, I'm calling your supervisor. So she did. Keep in mind, I never saw the kid. Storm inside and call the supervisor. Enter me again. So I'm not sure if A, the supervisor came and told my dad to just stop and someone else would do it, or B, my dad got shit on when he made it back to the warehouse, but either way, I know how it ends. Enter dad view again. So I would have kept my job seeing as I did absolutely nothing wrong, but this bitch pursued it and told them I did a bad job and I gave her attitude and that I looked like a pig sweating so much. So she gave me such a bad rep that jerk employer actually believed her and fired me. I had trouble getting a job again because of that bitch and jerk employer believing her BS. Our own family uses our kindness to cheat us out on tons of money. This happened to my parents when I was much younger. I don't have exact dialogue, but I have the basic story. EPS, the two entitled parents, my aunt's dad and uncle. They have kids, but they aren't important to the story. Story, most of my family live in India, and both my parents grew up in India. My parents came to the US for the college education, and ended up moving back to the US once they got married. My family and I would visit India pretty much every summer, and we would see the entitled parents often. Their kids were much older than me, about 8 years, but we would still have a good time together. The parents were also very nice to us, and always seemed happy to see us. While my parents live in the US, they had an acre of land in India. They were thinking of building either an apartment or shopping areas to rent out to stores so they could make money on the side. They still haven't started using it yet when the entitled parents fell into financial trouble. Since my parents were close to the entitled parents and they seemed trustworthy, so my parents allowed them to stay in the land. There was already a small house there, so they would stay there. This went on fine for some time, but then my grandparents from my mom's side went to see the property. They were really surprised to see stores there. My parents talked to them about it, and apparently they used my parents' money that they were sending out of their goodwill to build stores and then they rented it out. That would have been fine, except they didn't tell my parents about any of this. Also, instead of returning the money we sent them, they were keeping all of it and still begging for money and housing from my parents. My parents were livid and demanded they pay back, but the entitled parents refused. We told them to leave, but they still refused and we could force them since my parents were still working in the US and couldn't go to India to sort it out. My parents didn't want to get the police involved, so they tried to go to my dad's parents, but they couldn't do anything either. After about a year of this still going on, we ended up calling the police. But due to some legal law, our parents being in the US and the fact that entitled parents has been there for about 2 years now, they couldn't do anything. Finally, since my parents needed the land to actually make money in India for their parents, they ended up taking the entitled parents to court. After about 6 months due to the preparation and such, my parents finally won in court and entitled parents were forced to leave. The entitled parents made a couple $1,000s, in India currency obviously, in their time on the property since they didn't have to pay for expenses. Apparently the entitled parents used all the money and them being family we didn't make them pay us back. However, when they left, we found out that entitled parents ended up ruining a lot of the land with the way they built the shop since they took a lot of shortcuts to save money. We had to pay to fix the land to make it usable again. We thought it was over, but a month later, they asked my parents for more money and my parents obviously refused. The entitled parents got really mad and called my parents entitled and rich since they live in the US. They also tried to complain to the rest of the family in India, and some distant cousin from my dad's side agreed with them and asked to send money. My parents got really mad and asked my dad's parents to talk some sense. My parents also cut connection with entitled parents and we still don't talk now, about 6 years later. I just posted this since I got Reddit recently. Anyways, that would be all from me for today. I know you guys are probably expecting maybe an April Fool's thing, but nah, I got you guys some stories. Like always, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. I hope you guys have a nice rest of the day. Bye!